Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Welcome to hour number 2 of the line, Talk 99.5, talk995.com, live on YouTube, Real Talk 99. Well, hold on. Real Talk 99.5 TV on YouTube. And also, you can find us on TikTok, the Andrew Mclain, at the Andrew Mclain. John Bird and I.
The talk, baby.
The talk. John Bird's actually got face paint on TikTok. Look at him. He looks kind of like a zombie, if you will.
That's what I was going for, a zombie.
And plus, people are throwing gifts on there and stuff, so it put me in a cowboy hat and a big mustache last segment, which was a really good
That was
look.
so cute.
It was. You and I may need to do one tonight, a TikTok live tonight for about 30 minutes. You got Margarita Grill, don't you?
Yeah, if we can do it early.
We can do it.
I could do it at the break of Margarita Grill.
Yeah, I guess depending on what time that is, you can text me.
Yeah, well, usually the first break would be about 6:45.
Oh, really? You're playing that early?
Yeah, I go 6 to 9.
6 to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I might actually.
Because I'm not going to be doing anything. I'll just be sitting there.
Where's Margarita Grill's in?
It's in Pelham.
Oh, jeez, that's right. Well, I was going to say if it was a little closer, Trish and I might come to grab some dinner or have a drink.
Oh, man, that would be awesome.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. If not, we'll get together on the TikTok thing and figure all that out. But if y'all want to see John Bird tonight, Margarita Grill, 6 to 9.
Yep, last minute gig came up.
Yep.
Yep. And I'm going to be at O'Sherry Island Pub, which is there by Lake Logan Martin. You can look up the address.
On Lake Logan.
Yes, yeah, it's right there. It's like a dock and everything. But, yeah, it may be outside because the weather's been so nice. But that place is awesome. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night. All at the same time, 6 to 9?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on the tips and stuff. And tipsy,
Yeah.
you know.
As long as you are paying him good money, he'll just keep on going.
You dang right.
Keep on going. That's Saturday? Friday.
Yeah, that's Friday.
Friday. No gig Saturday.
No, I
Stallions game Saturday.
Well, actually, I had to cancel because I forgot that Megan's birthday party, our friend Seth and Megan, is Saturday afternoon. That's when they're going to do the baby reveal.
Well, why hasn't Boomer invited me to the Stallions game to go in your place?
I don't know. He may do it, Boomer. I know you're listening out there.
Think about this, though. Think about how long you and Boomer's been anticipating you going to that game with him, and you just had to axe it. Boomer's probably devastated.
Yeah, well, I mean, family, comes first.
You don't think Boomer's family?
Yeah, Boomer's family, but, I mean, I've got a young lady who...
He's like crazy uncle family.
No, I mean, he's like a brother to me, but, you have to remember this is a young lady who's having a birthday party, and she's having a baby. So, that's special, man.
More special than hanging out with Boomer.
No, it's just different. And the good thing is I'll be able to hang out with Boomer. I told him, I said, I'll make sure I'm clear for the next home game.
Honestly, it makes me feel better because I wasn't going because of WrestleMania.
That's right.
I don't want to miss WrestleMania. So is the birthday party that evening?
No, it's at 2 in the afternoon.
Okay, so you might be able to come do WrestleMania still, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, just keep me posted.
Okay.
Because we're gonna feed you good and everything else. Like we're gonna cook and
yeah.
Well,
yeah. I mean, they've got another couple party to go to, so they're finishing up at 5.
Okay, well that's part because WrestleMania starts at like 6.
Yeah, I'll just leave straight from there. I'll make it a freaking party,
Look
a
at
Saturday party with the Birdman.
I'm trying to make sure Peyton's there too, but he's got to work Saturday night. I told him to check with his coworkers to see if he could swap shifts.
Yeah, man.
Maybe get a swap with a Friday night or somebody. I doubt anybody wants to swap their Saturday day shift for Saturday night, but I may not be watching WrestleMania with my son this year.
Well, I'll act like Peyton. Maybe my 90s wig will look sort of like Peyton's hair.
But I got to be glad that he's got a job. He enjoys his job. He's out there making money, learning to be a man.
It's a great young man there.
He's doing great, by the way. And I actually I know your kids don't want you to do this, but I called his boss outside last time I dropped him off, and I said, "Hey, that Peyton kid y'all got in there working. He's like, is he a pretty good worker?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I think we're gonna keep him."
Dude.
I was like, "That's good." I said, "That's my son. I just want to make sure y'all are staying on top of him and he's doing what he's supposed to do." Because I've mentioned this, like, it's kind of a, for so long I had been giving my kid advice, like life advice on just random stuff, whatever pops up in a conversation, or if we hear something, I say, the best way to handle that is to X, Y, and Z. And I know it probably got on his nerves to an extent because I did it so often, but I can start to tell
Yep.
that some of that advice, if not a lot of that advice, has actually soaked in, and he's using what I've been telling him all these years. I mean, even when it comes to working and work ethic and stuff like that, because I didn't have the drive when, I mean, that's all right when I was his age, but like in my early 20s, when I was out there just working for the weekend and partying and everything else, I did not have the best work ethic whatsoever.
Me neither. I mean, if it wasn't something like music.
Yeah, if it was like something you weren't interested in, you did not give 100%. You'd be lucky if you gave 50%. And it caused me a lot of problems. It caused me to go through multiple jobs. And I don't want him to do that. And I'm honest with him about that. I tell him, I say, hey, here's what happened. Here's the way I handled, my early adulthood, and it blew up in my face. It caused me a lot of problems and a lot of heartache that I didn't have to go through. And my life could be a lot different. I could have, gotten my life started on a successful path much earlier than I actually did had I taken my own advice. I didn't have that advice back then, but now if I could go talk to my younger self.
But look how it turned out. God always takes care of things.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out in the long run, but it's about teaching your kids and having them grow up into, productive members of society, not just for society, but for themselves and for his future wife, for his future children. Like, I want to be an example of a good husband. I want to be an example of a good dad. I want him to be able to, be someone who is known as the head of the household, a guy that, takes charge.
And you want to live up to that.
Protects his family, protects his wife and kids. And so, I don't know. We've all got hopes and dreams. Speaking of dreams, remember I told you I didn't sleep that much last night? I'm not even going to do it.
No, you can't do that.
I'm saying, like, I had some really weird dreams, and I don't even know that I can describe them. Like, I don't know how to describe them. It was like some weird thing where I was at this park, like almost like amusement park type thing, and there were people like snatching up individuals and taking them off to this kind of encampment. It was almost like a military training type of whatever that they were snatching people up and taking them to and putting them through these brutal boot camp-esque things where you would get shot and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, Andrew.
And in my dream, I'm like trying to figure out how to get out of that situation.
You need a long weekend. You need to take off for Friday or a Monday and have you a long weekend with you and Trish.
Maybe so. It could be. Again, I was emotionally distraught over the end of Fish Tank when I watched the end of Fish Tank last night, but I think it may be piggybacking off these videos that I've been seeing where, is it in Thailand? It's like what they do is they take the young men of the country and they have them draw out of a bucket either what's going to be either a red or a black card. And one basically says that you're forced to enlist in the military. and the other one you don't have to
Dang.
enlist. So it's like a draft, but you're drawing. It's like a drawing for the draft, I guess.
That's horrible. That's like a 50-50 shot.
And so most of these young men are walking up there like they're disabled. They're obviously acting acting like they have all these different ailments or that they're mentally incapacitated. And then if they pull out the card that says they don't have to enlist, they all jump up and start celebrating. And the rest of the crowd's laughing.
And then they're shot by the military.
Yeah. Then they just get put
Good
down.
gosh.
It's weird. It was very bizarre. And the same thing with the video. So I say that to say that I think maybe that was part of why I was having those dreams. But then there's the videos that we've talked about on the show in Ukraine where they are dragging young men and women off the streets and sending them into the military and putting them on the front lines, by the way. I mean, they're pulling them out of restaurants and clubs, snatching them off the street, and putting them in the military to fight against Russia. It's awful, dude. Some of these videos are all. There was one in particular. It was a video of a guy. It was a dash cam video of a guy flying down the highway, and one of these recruiters is on his hood. He obviously came to him and tried to get in his car and pull him out to take him to the military.
Good gosh.
And the guy gassed it, and so he's flying down the road as this recruiter is hanging on for dear life on the hood of his car. He finally slows down enough for the recruiter to fall off and then takes off.
Dang, that's just horrible, and we poured so many millions into that.
Billions.
Yeah,
billions of dollars into Ukraine that will never be seen. We'll never get back. But that's a very complex war. That's a very complex situation that has not gotten a lot of attention based on what's been going on with Iran as of late. But that'll be back in focus very soon, simply because it's very important to Trump to bring it into that.
Yes.
May the 15th, Iron City Jawbone Jam, baby. I want to see each and every one of y'all at Jawbone Jam on May 15th. This is our 10-year anniversary. It is our birthday party. Why would any of y'all miss this? It's crazy to me. We just got another batch of tickets in. Well, so there are tickets available. You just go to Ticketmaster.com or IronCityBham.com. Click the link, type in Talk 99.5 or Jawbone Jam. Either one will pull it up and buy your tickets before it's too late. We've got Brother Kane, we've got Stone Horses, we've got Cattle. It is a big lineup, the biggest lineup that we've ever had for a 99.5 event. This is a really big concert, as Brother Kane is extremely popular band and fantastic music. Can you pull up? Go ahead. I
Sure.
didn't mean to interrupt you, but can you pull up a little Brother Kane while we're talking about this?
Sure.
But what were you saying?
Joey Treadwell's going to be there too.
Who is that?
That's my 90s alter ego.
Joey Treadwell?
Yeah.
Is that new?
Yeah,
Or is
he's a friend of mine.
But I say new. It's somebody that we've never met.
Yeah.
So one of the people in the condo in your head?
Yeah.
Joey
Yeah,
Treadwell.
he moved in a little while ago. Well, when he found out about Brother Kane, he was, all about it.
I imagine your condo in your head's probably a lot like the fish tank house.
Actually, it is. It can be. I've got a maid that comes in there once a week, but she can only do so much.
That's why I love that show so much. I feel a connection to it. Anyway, here's some Brother Kane for you. I just, because some of y'all may not know, this is good music right here. That's a Treyu. So let's try Brother Kane. Here we go. Just listen to the soulful sounds of this amazing band that's going to be at Jawbone Jam.
Killer riff coming
You've never heard of this, dude? It's going to change your life. It's not even my style, and I love it.
I mean, come on, man.
That's
come on.
kind of my style. Bring it on. It's got a little Lynham vibe to it, too.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Birmingham rock vibe. Like if you think about Birmingham
Yeah.
local rock,
Tell
that's
you
what it sounds
right.
like.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Y'all don't want to miss this. Tickets are $39.95 each. That's the Ticketmaster price. That's not us, but these bands have to be paid. I know normally we don't.
This is my
charge.
favorite riff here. Love this chorus. More cowbell. Come on, man.
More cowbell. But yeah, we normally don't charge. We normally ask for donations like toys and stuff like that, usually with a Christmas party. But this year, because we got these big bands, they got to be paid and all this. So come out and hang out with us. Thank you to Danny Knowles, who always helps us make these things happen, of the Knowles Group. And also special thank you to Aqua Systems and the awesome individuals over at Blakely's Bouquet. Love those guys. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be celebrating 10 years. We'd just simply be coming on the air and be like, yay, it's happy birthday, 99.5. 10 years. Here's to 10 more. But no, we're having a huge party. We're going to blow it out of the water just for you, the Talk 99.5 family. Looking through the tax line, Grumpy Old Goat says, "Oh, poor Eric Swalwell doesn't have any more friends. It could happen to a nicer predator." Tom in Pell City says, "How long you playing tomorrow? Want me to bring my guitar?" No, Tom, Pell City, we can't do dueling guitars because it's a paid gig. It's not just a hang out and bring the crew. Um, Plus, I don't think he's playing tomorrow. Are you? You don't have a gig tomorrow.
No, not tomorrow.
No. But yeah, no. When John Bird's doing a paid gig, you can't jump in there with your own guitar. It just doesn't work that way. But who knows? Maybe one day. No offense.
Yeah, I got to get permission from the owners, and generally, especially with the places that I'm playing here, it's just do your show and get out. Here's your money.
Rick says, "Hey, tell me who the mortgage company is that advertises with y'all. I hear it on Dixon and Vining in the morning. Do you know who that is?
No, I think I can look it up.
Is it? Yeah, you've probably got a list in there. I don't. That's their mortgage company, so I'm not exactly sure. I think I know, but I don't want to say the wrong one. Is it the one that our buddy Chris Molesky's with?
I believe so. I'm looking at their lives, and I don't see it on there.
Well, look, Rick, just
Yeah, I can
we'll
check
figure
the
it
list
out.
that's over here. It's got all our sponsors.
Dixter says Galago and Swallow are birds of a feather that are flocked together. He said swallow. He means swalwell. Whatever. Let's see. The Walter says, I think this dream is your subconscious reconciling the upcoming NFL draft. Yeah, that's it. When's the draft? Is that soon?
Yeah.
I don't even
You really don't know when the draft is?
you don't either. You're over there Googling it.
Liar.
That's literally what you're doing. I mean, I'm probably not going to watch it. I really don't care about the draft all that much.
Yes, everybody knows it's April 23rd through the 25th.
Okay, so a week from this weekend.
Yeah, and there's also an NFL mock draft that's going to be happening beforehand.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah, something like that.
BB Lover says God's giving you nightmares because you hate on Bibi Netanyahu. Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
Okay.
I really don't think about Bibi Netanyahu all that much, and I don't hate him, but I do think he's probably not the one politician out there that does everything right. He's got skeletons in his closet like everybody else, I'm sure. Bubba says Ukraine is a large-scale, deep-state military-industrial complex money laundering enrichment operation. Changed my mind. I agree with that 100 million%. 205 545 9950 545 9950. I'm not even. Am I touching the mic? I don't think I'm touching the mic. Hey now, hey now, hey now. Here we go. All right, we're good. We're good. By the way, John Bird, I got, see, it's cutting out on its own. That's not good.
Nope.
I got one of the, these things. It's supposed to be coming in today. Did I tell you that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I did the orange one. I didn't want to do orange. I wanted to do a black one, but
no, man, it's colorful. It pops.
yeah, I don't know. I prefer the black to kind of match everything.
Well, I mean, just try the orange. See how this purple pops that I've got.
Yeah.
And the orange will pop. And if you don't like it, they're not super expensive. You can just get a black one and be like everybody else in the whole world. I mean, that's up to you. If you want to follow the sheep, if you want to be a sheeple, you go right ahead.
I might. I haven't decided yet.
Sheeple.
Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers. As you know by now, Express Oil has raised over $1.2 million for Children's of Alabama, and they're doing it again for the month of April. Every oil change, they're going to take $1 and donate it to Children's of Alabama because they're not just changing oil, they're changing lives, baby. And, yeah, be a part of a good cause and get your oil change. It's the home of the 10-minute oil change, by the way. ExpressOil.com is where you can find the nearest location to you and get yourself hooked up. I'll be getting my oil changed here in the next few days. I'm a couple thousand over, which is not good, but I've been busy and I keep forgetting. So, you always forget till you get in your car and you see the little light and you're like, oh, mine actually doesn't have a light. My dash will tell me you're X number of miles over your oil change. Like every time you get it changed, you can go in your settings and set up, hey, remind me in 5,000 miles. And once you get to that point, it'll start saying negative, 2,000 miles or whatever it is. But anyway, get on top of it. ExpressOil.com. The official oil change place of the line. That's right. So, I mentioned the Swalwell stuff. I mentioned Gallego. Is he the one in the video? I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. But he was definitely good buddies with Eric Swalwell. And there was even a video where it showed him. It was Eric Swalwell, Gallego, and then another lady. I don't know if it was a staffer or what, and they were doing some sort of hot pepper challenge. They were out in front of the Capitol, and they were just eating a pepper. And at one point towards the end of the video, Gallego tries to shove his pepper into the mouth of the female that was with him. And it was some Capitol Hill worker or staffer.
Oh, that's not good. How did they react?
She just kind of backed up. She looked a little startled, and then he backed off. Little weird, but in hindsight, now that you know what you know, you kind of see some of the behaviors of these people and you say, is that a red flag? Are you, in fact, one of these abusers? Could be, maybe not. Who knows? But what changed for many of those people that, and some Democrats have spoken out begrudgingly against Eric Swalwell, but there's many Hollywood elitists who donated tons of cash to Eric Swalwell's governor campaign, and they're suddenly silent. You hadn't heard a peep out of them. If I'm one of those individuals, I'm publicly coming out and I'm saying, hey, you send me my money back immediately. But they haven't. Not a peep. Here's a short list for you. Robert De Niro, Sean Penn, John Cryer, Kathy Griffin, and many others have poured cash into Swalwell's coffers, and yet now that his campaign and career have been imploded under this scandal, all of them are silent. So let the record show that these people apparently do not care about the victims of assault. What other conclusion could you possibly reach? Also, the people in the media, like Jimmy Kimmel in particular that gave individuals like Swalwell a platform multiple times on their show and just drooled over him, talking about how great and wonderful he is. Yes. Jane Fonda's another one. All going radio silent as Swalwell crashes and burns. Sean Penn donated $15,000 to Swalwell, and on several occasions met up with Swalwell to show his support. Several others, such as Mad Men star John Hamm, anti-Trumper Robert De Niro, John Cryer, each donated $10,000 and often spoke up for Swalwell on social media and interviews. Kathy Griffin also gave $10,000, as did TV producers David Bennett and Sean Ryan, who both ponied up $10,000 before his shocking murder. Film director Rob Reiner also gave the same amount to Swalwell. Even Rob Reiner. God, man, it's hard to believe that Rob Reiner was unalived.
That's so strange.
It's crazy to
But
think.
not strange for Hollywood. A lot of stuff's gone on like that over the decades.
I know it's wild that some stuff has happened that you kind of just forget about. In just recent stuff. Like, I actually, until I saw this, I completely forgot about the Rob Reiner deal. The same thing we were talking about yesterday with Nancy Guthrie. A lot of people have forgot about that. You know? It's just, the news moves so fast. It's hard to keep up with. While all this is going on, you would think that the Democrats would be kind of regrouping and trying to figure out a new strategy to distance themselves from creeps like Swalwell, but instead, people like Jamie Raskin are actually launching a 25th Amendment commission to remove Donald Trump from office. Now, in Jamie Raskin's head, he's got it figured out, supposedly, that there is a way, according to the Constitution, that Congress can put together a group of people that can bypass what the normal rules would be when it comes to removing a president with the 25th Amendment. That normally has to be done by the cabinet itself. Members of the president's cabinet have to come out and say, hey, this guy is, he's at the end of his rope. He's at the, he's losing his mind or whatever it may be. And they are the ones to decide out with the old and with the new. And then the vice president, in most cases, would take over. Jamie Raskin says, no, that's not how you have to do it. There's another way. It would establish a 17-member panel to assess whether the president is fit to carry out his duties. It comes despite Republicans controlling Congress and the president retaining veto power, making the measure almost certain to fail. More than 85 Democrats in Congress recently called for Trump to be impeached or removed through the 25th Amendment following the comments he made about bombing Iran. And again, I go back to the absurd comments from Alex Jones, which was also removing Trump via the 25th Amendment. Alex Jones has sided with 85 Democrats. So it's pretty amazing. The bill would rely on Section 4 of the 25th Amendment, which allows the vice president and cabinet or a body created by Congress to declare the president unfit. Under the proposal, the commission would conduct a medical evaluation to determine whether the president is mentally or physically unable to discharge the powers and duties of the office. There are 50 Democratic co-sponsors of this bill. Members of the commission would be appointed by congressional leadership from both parties, along with former senior executive officials. The group would then select a chairman, and the action would still require approval from Vice President J.D. Vance. So Jamie Raskin's got this master plan that he's going to put together a commission, piece together a report that has the proof that Donald Trump is unfit for office physically and or mentally, and he's going to present it to JD Vance and say, JD, here's the proof that your boss is unfit. Go ahead and make the call to remove him. That's pretty wild. The White House responded by describing Raskin as a, quote, stupid person's idea of a smart person. President Trump's sharpness, unmatched energy, and historic accessibility stand in stark contrast to what we saw during the past 4 years when Democrats like Raskin intentionally covered up Joe Biden's serious mental and physical decline from the American people, which is oh so true. You can't, at the end of the day, you can't take these people serious. And I don't know if it's just a matter of not having any cards to play anymore for the Democrats, but I would think a different strategy of not looking like a complete hypocrite would be ideal. Because there's options out there for what tactics you could use in fighting against Trump. I understand that's your whole existence as a Democrat is to fight back against Trump, but like there's got to be other options out there besides the whole mentally unfit, considering the fact that you just covered up a mentally unfit individual for 4 whole years and literally fought to the very end, to the summer of 24, to keep him in there. Which, by the way, another great example of Democrats using you until you become a liability. It's the Eric Swalwell got the Joe Biden treatment, if you will. Remember when Joe Biden bowed out? It was after the debate performance, and we all knew how that debate was going to go, but the Democrats had to act shocked by it. They're like, oh, that was so bad. And then all of a sudden, oh, Jake Tapper's got a brand new book about Joe Biden being in decline. And then all the reporters are like, yeah, Joe Biden's not in very good shape. Thank goodness we caught that and reported that for everybody to know. And they patted themselves on the back, just as they're doing with Swalwell. They all knew he was a creep, just like they knew Joe Biden was in decline. Covered it up until it could no longer be covered up. And then they say, oh, we're breaking news, everybody. Eric Swalwell is a creep. Joe Biden is really old and losing his marbles. Thank God you have the media. Thank God you have journalists like us to fill you in and save the country. God bless them. 205-545-9950. That's 545-9950. Noto Roofing bringing you this part of the show. N-O-T-O roofing.com. NotoRoofing.com. Get in touch with them. Get your free roof inspection, complimentary roof tune-up just for you. That's right. It's just for you. And they're waiting on you. I'm waiting on you, really. I'm waiting on you to call them. There's so many of y'all that have already done this, but there's still so many that hasn't. We have a large audience. If you haven't gotten your roof inspected, get it inspected by people you can trust, and get it inspected by people that are going to give you a complimentary roof tune-up. Absolutely free, no charge, no questions asked. Just, hey, we see a problem. We'll fix it real quick. No problemo. We'll be on our way. If you got big problems or you got moderate problems, they'll let you know what those are, and then you can decide if you want to get them fixed or not. If you do, great. If you don't, great. It's up to you. It's your roof. But they just want to be able to inspect it so you've got the knowledge and the know as to what's going on up there. Because I don't want none of y'all on your roof. I don't want to see y'all falling off and hurting yourself. I want the pros up there. That's Noto. N-O-T-O roofing.com. 205-848-2299. That's 848-2299. 205-545-9950. Drew says, what do y'all think about Sean Ryan? I liked him, but here lately I'm questioning him. I like Sean Ryan. I think he's wrong about Trump as of late. I think he's on this bandwagon of being against what's happening in Iran, even though it's seemingly working out now. And that has caused him to question everything that Donald Trump is doing or has done. I think the problem is that for those people in particular, and to answer the question, I still like Sean Ryan. I think he puts on an amazing podcast. I think he has fascinating guests, which is what makes his podcast good. I think the problem is one, we get way too much information, which ultimately clouds common sense for a lot of people. And two, the also there's two sides to that. There's too much information, and then there's a lack of information. The lack of information comes in the form of none of these people commenting, including myself, knows what the president knows. We don't know the information that Donald Trump gets on a regular basis, in particular this term, because they've gotten such a handle on the leakers. In previous terms, we would have been able to know a lot more about what's going on the inside and behind closed doors and information that's flowing in and out of the Oval Office because there were leakers all over the place. But leakers are being thrown in jail and in prison, which is a pretty big deterrent for potential leakers. And that causes a lack of information, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing. Some things need to stay within the realm of the leaders that are making decisions, unless, I mean, there's a fine line there. There's stuff that obviously we need to know, and I'm a huge fan of transparency, and I think everything that is just can be transparent, make it transparent, put it out there. But so many people that are commenting on what's going on in Iran and the decisions that are being made by the Trump administration and Trump himself, they just don't understand the full story. They don't see the things that Donald Trump is seeing through the intelligence and everything else. And that for those people, it doesn't make sense to them. And if they can't connect the dots, then they end up coming to their own conclusions and saying, it's a bad thing. And this is, and there's also, I think, a genre of people that are like us, conservatives that don't want war, that don't want global conflict, that don't want us involved in international affairs that we don't have to be in. I'm in that camp too. I don't want to be at war. I don't want our military to have to put boots on the ground, even though some of these members, a lot of these members of the military and some that I've heard from actually were very excited when they heard that we were conducting Operation Epic Fury, because they've been training for this stuff for a very long time. I explained it to my kid this way. I'm like, you think about being on a football team, right? And you practice 3, 4, 5 days a week. You go through spring training. You go through this, and you're constantly just busting your ass at practice day in and day out in anticipation for game day, in anticipation for week one. So you can get out there and play a team and win the game. But that game never comes. Week one never shows up. All you do is practice. You never actually get to play in a game. That doesn't seem like it'd be a whole lot of fun. But when the game gets there, how exciting is that? It's your moment. It's the thing that you've been training for for all this time. Same thing for a lot of these members of the military. They got to get in those jets, the pilots. They got to fly over Tehran. They got to fire those missiles. They've been practicing all this time, and finally, it's game day, and they got to do it. A lot of them were excited about it, you know? That's why they joined. But in the big picture, we don't want a conflict that we don't have to get involved in, and we certainly don't want a conflict that is going to stretch on for months and months, years and years, or even decades. And that's what so many people are afraid of, instead of looking at the reality of how this is playing out and understanding that this is going to be short term. They're terrified that it is going to end up being long term. Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, 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 hey now. Alabama Men's Clinic starting you off on hour number 3. AlabamaMen'sClinic.com, 205-598-7000. For you men out there feeling sluggish, you ain't got to live that way. You ain't got to live that way. Could be low T. I don't care if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or if you're 62 years old. You can, in fact, be the best version of yourself by getting a little tune-up. That's what this is. It's a tune-up. It's nothing crazy. It's just some treatments and solutions that they have on hand that they themselves use because they are just like everybody else, man. Low T pops up, man. It creeps up on you, and you don't expect it. You don't realize it, and next thing you know, you're just kind of dragging through life. I don't want y'all dragging through life, man. I want you to make sure your testosterone's where it needs to be, and they can make sure that happens. It's not just for the intimacy aspect. It's not just for impressing her in the bedroom. It's also for just being there as a man, being the husband you need to be, being the dad you need to be, the coworker, the boss, to be able to show up every day and do the things you need to do. I don't want y'all struggling day in and day out. I want y'all to be the best version of yourself. So don't be ashamed or feel like this is something to be embarrassed about. These guys at Alabama Men's Clinic, they know what it's like. They've been through it. They use the treatments themselves, and they know exactly how to apply it to your life. And everybody's different. And that's what's so great about what they do is they're able to get to know you, understand what it is you're looking for, and make a plan that is specialized and adapted just for you and what you want. So get with them. Let them know I said you again, 205-598-7000, 598-7000, and online, AlabamaMen'sClinic.com. Yes, sirree. So we're waiting on a press briefing. I do want to bring the little of this to you because they're going to be talking about the day 3 of the blockades that are working very well. Iran's about 2 weeks from being just totally overloaded with the oil. All right. Once they fill up to capacity on their oil that they're not able to ship out, that's just going to sit there, they are then going to be in a position to where they have to shut their wells down. If you got nowhere to put the oil, you can't keep drilling for oil. And shutting the wells down is not just a matter of flipping a light switch. I mean, it is a big process. When you shut the wells down, it takes a lot to get them back up and going. So it's going to put them in a very precarious situation. They've basically got less than 2 weeks to make a decision on what they want to do and quit BSing with us because we ain't playing anymore. It's the end of it. We're actually resetting the world order as far as energy and oil goes. As you know, people are making their way to the U.S. to fill up their tankers. And ultimately, what's going to happen is we continue to produce oil and we invest in that industry. We are single-handedly going to bring down the price of oil and make ourselves completely energy independent. A lot of people ask, and there's a very complex, scenario, or it's a kind of a complex industry, but it's kind of not. I mean, I pride myself on explaining things in a very simple way because that's the only way I know how to explain things. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple-minded person. But at the end of the day, people will ask, hey, if we've got so much oil here, why are gas prices so high? Why are we not just using our own oil and bringing down the price? And ultimately, the short answer to that is the fact that, yes, we have the ability to produce a tremendous amount of oil. We have just not had the capacity to refine the oil. Leaders in the past, government, Congress, presidents of the past have not invested in the refineries like they should have because of this, that, or the other. Obviously with the Democrats and green energy, they don't want refineries. They don't want drilling. But now with the Trump administration, led with the EPA, led by Lee Zeldin, um, they have actually started investing in these refineries. So now we will be able to, instead of having to, ship it out or go this part of the world or that part of the world to this refinery or that refinery, or limit how much we drill, if we broaden our capacity of being able to refine this oil and ultimately turn it into the energy that we use every day, we will then maximize our capacity about what we can produce. We can sell the oil to the rest of the world and say, hey, you figure out where you want to refine it. But if we broaden that refining aspect or that refining industry in this country, we can start pumping it out like crazy and just handle the whole process, which will bring the prices down dramatically. You're going to be seeing that anyway, because again, this costs billions and billions of dollars, and it's a major undertaking. But in the oil industry, that's what's got to happen. It's more than just pumping oil out of the ground and sending it to your local Chevron. It's got to go through a whole rigmarole and everything else. But it's good. We're moving in the right direction, and we finally got Iran by the balls to where they have nowhere to go. They're either going to cry uncle, or they're going to be a footnote in history. And they're like, well, you can't say that. Iran's been around for thousands of years. Well, Iran's not going to go anywhere. But the Iran that we've known since the 70s is going to be a footnote in history, because they are going to lose all control. Once economies start to collapse, then regimes or people in power start to lose the public. China's facing the same thing. And that's why they're begging Iran to cry uncle, and have been for weeks. Even when we were destroying their military, China's like, please, just give them what they want, dude. This ain't worth it. And now China's even lost their ability to get cheap Iranian oil. So they're in a bad spot. They want the Strait of Hormuz open, and they want it opened immediately, no matter who wins or who gets it open or who controls it. They just want it open. And Trump put that out in a tweet just this morning. He said, China is very happy that I am permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz. I am doing it for them also and the world. This situation will never happen again. They have agreed not to send weapons to Iran. President Xi will give me a big fat hug when I get there in a few weeks.
I love that.
He said, we are working together smartly and very well. Doesn't that beat fighting? But remember, we are very good at fighting if we have to. Far better than anyone else. President DJT. Yes, sir. So you're going to hear about some of that with this White House press briefing, as well as many other topics, I am sure. Richard, the cop's on the line. Richard, what's up, bub?
I got one suggestion. They need to take over the Karg Island and all the islands in the Strait, but also any of those Iranian tankers that they're turning back, they just need to seize them. Take your oil, bring it home.
Yeah, could do that. Could just take them over and be like, they'll quit sending them at some point.
They're going to work on some route to try to smuggle that stuff if we keep letting them have it. Just go ahead and seize the tankers, get us some brand new ships, and take the stuff with it.
Well, if you recall, that's what Donald Trump asked Pete Hegseth. He's like, can't we just seize these warships that we're out there sinking? And they're like, no, Mr. President, it's much more fun to sink them. He's like, okay, whatever. So.
Well, y'all have a good day, boys. I'm out delivering people.
All righty. Be safe out there, Richard. And I noticed Richard was not on Bluetooth today. He took our advice. He sounded really good.
Yes, he did. Very clear.
Sounded really good and really clear. If you want to get in, 205-545-9950. Another thing that Trump said that actually caught my eye, and I found it a little bizarre, but I think there's some legit reasons behind it. It has to do with FISA and the FISA court, which was weaponized against Donald Trump and those in Trump's circle. Trump is now saying that he wants Congress to extend part of FISA for particular reasons. I'll give you that info when we get back on the other side. All right, so Caroline Levitt at the podium with Scott Bessent, and is that Brooke Rollins? Is that who that is? I can't tell. Anyway, let's dip into this just for a moment.
President Trump looked voters in the eye and promised them he would sign the largest tax cuts in the history of our country. And on Independence Day last year, President Trump and congressional Republicans delivered, passing the largest tax cut in history for working and middle-class Americans, including no tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security. They also passed unprecedented tax relief for small businesses, farmers, workers, and families. With tax day officially here, the numbers prove these tax cuts have been nothing short of extraordinary. More than 53 million filers claimed at least one of President Trump's signature new tax cuts. The average refund this filing season is more than $3,400. The Trump administration has issued more refunds in large larger refunds than in any year of the history of our country. And I will allow Secretary Bessent to break down the numbers in greater detail. President Trump and Republicans in Congress have always believed that the American people know how to spend their money better than the government does. But what the American people must not forget is that every single Democrat in Congress voted against these tax refunds. The media has largely omitted this fact and other critical details in their stories covering the benefits of the Trump tax cuts. If the Democrats in Congress had gotten their way and blocked President Trump's historic legislation, Americans would have faced the largest tax hike in history, nearly $4 trillion. The average taxpayer would have seen a 22% increase in their tax rates. Democrats in Congress have proven over and over again that they are the affordability frauds who believe the government should keep more of the American people's hard-earned money. This president and Republicans in Congress fundamentally believe that Americans deserve to keep more of their hard-earned paychecks. It's a clear contrast for American families to keep in mind. So with that, I will turn it over to our great Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, and then he will turn it over to Kelly. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Caroline. I'm here to tell you that it has been a fantastic tax season. It has gone smoothly. It has gone efficiently from the point of view of the IRS, but most importantly, it's been a great tax season for the American people. Thanks to promises made, promises kept, through the working families tax cuts, the president has delivered the record refunds to the American people. More than 45% of the filers of the returns that we have seen have had at least one of the 4 president's signature policies. No tax and tips, no tax and overtime, the deductions for our great seniors, and the deductibility of interest on auto loans for American-made cars. And I will tell you that the biggest, one of those that Americans have taken is no tax and overtime. And it's the American way. If you want to work longer hours, you get to keep more of your money. And with that, we are seeing, I want to encourage everyone out there watching today to change their withholding if they haven't already done so. Because if you change your withholding, then you will get an automatic real wage increase on a weekly or a monthly basis, and you will be able to keep more of your money this calendar year. So with that, we have also seen with the Trump accounts, we have had 5 million families file for Trump accounts for their children. 1.2 million of those are eligible for the $1,000 seed bonus. So we look forward to that picking up more and more. For those of you who haven't done it, it's easy to remember, Form 4547. You can do it while you're filing your taxes. You can do it at any point during the year. We think this is going to be transformational in terms of financial literacy. This is Financial Literacy Month, and at Treasury and all over the administration, we are working with the American people, with American families, not only to give them more of their money, but to show them how to invest it in a safe, smart, and sound way. So with that, I will turn it over to Kelly.
Great. Thank you, Scott, and good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be here on Tax Day, important day for small business because small business and their employees have real relief thanks to President Trump's working family tax cuts. As Administrator of the U.S. Small Business Administration, it is my great honor to serve our great president as the cabinet-level voice for America's 36 million small businesses. President Trump is right. Small business is big business. Indeed. They are a massive economic engine that creates 2/3 of all new jobs. They represent 99% of all businesses, and they drive about half of our GDP. The working family tax cuts are putting money back into the pockets of the hardest working Americans. That's why small business and their employees are benefiting the most. President Trump and congressional Republicans have saved Americans from a $4 trillion tax hike, including a staggering 20% tax increase on working families. It would have destroyed millions of jobs. Now, I've traveled the country from Maine to Alaska, and not a single worker, not a single small business asked to pay $1 more in taxes. Yet every single congressional Democrat voted to raise taxes, not just on small businesses, on our workers, on our seniors, on hard hardworking families. Thankfully, Republicans united behind common sense policy of letting Americans, not Washington bureaucrats or fraudsters, keep more of what they earn. Now, so far, as you've just heard, 12 million small businesses have an average tax saving of $7,000. The 20% small business pass-through deduction is now permanent, offering them certainty to plan for the future and the rocket fuel to create 1 million new jobs. Eric Williams at Prince Manufacturing in rural Georgia. He specializes in fabrication and machining. This year, he's reinvesting his tax savings to hire 500 new employees. The provisions for 100% expensing of equipment, expansion, and R&D are also growing production to help us reclaim industrial dominance. At Blue Patriot Fab, which I visited this week in Omaha, the owners highlighted one of their newest buildings, and they call it the Big Beautiful Building because the tax cuts helped them build it. Made in America is back, and that's why the America worker is winning too. No tax on tips and overtime means that millions of employees are now rewarded, not punished, for working more. And it's already benefited, as you just heard, 31 million taxpayers. In Baltimore, John and Tony Minidakis are proud second-generation owners of Jimmy's Seafood. Now, with no tax on tips and overtime, their 200 employees know that coming into work means going home with more pay. And Wade, a CNC machinist that I met at Lehigh Valley Plastics in Pennsylvania, said he routinely takes on extra shifts, and now the tax cuts reward his extra effort. And the benefits aren't just for tax season. As you've heard, the Trump accounts are connecting young people from birth to the power of our free enterprise system. With 529 savings accounts and Workforce Pell for trade schools, we're now training the next generation of skilled workers to fill millions of open jobs at small businesses. So in closing, America is open for business again. Yet every Democrat voted no on the very tax relief that is restoring Main Street, that is putting more money back into the pockets of hardworking families. Small businesses are rebounding from years of Biden inflation, decades of unfair trade, and massive regulatory overreach. But thanks to President Trump's tax cuts, they now talk about expansion, hiring plans, and generational opportunity. This is America First in action. Lower taxes, rising wages, and a thriving Main Street. Now millions of Americans are getting
I thought that was going to be a
largest
little shorter than it was, but, whatever. Can't win them all, right, John Bird?
Not all of them, brother.
Can't win them all. Oh, there's some interesting facts. It is tax day, which is exactly why Caroline Levitt has brought out Kelly Loeffler and Scott Bessent, talking about the Trump accounts, talking about people getting a higher tax refund than normal, and also giving some advice on how you can get back even more money next tax season. So, good stuff. By the way, John Bird, you notice I had to take my hat off. It's so hot in here.
Oh, no. Now it's cool in here.
Everybody says they love my hair, by the way. I got a full head of hair. That's a good jam right there.
Yeah, it is, man. Good pick, brother.
Yeah. 205-545-9950. Let's Scott Bassett is currently taking a question from Pete Hegseth on lowering gas prices. Let's dip into that just for a moment.
Great.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Can you give us an update on the president's thinking on the next attorney general? A lot of names have been going around, like Ron DeSantis, Rudy Giuliani, Ed Martin. They're being floated as contenders. What qualities is the president looking for in a new AG? And will there be accountability for what many have described as weaponization within Biden's office when he was the president?
Sure. Well, certainly ensuring that there's accountability for the weaponization of justice that took place under the Biden administration is a top priority for this president. With respect to names that are floated, there are always names floated in the press. Sometimes I have a chuckle when I read some of the reports about certain people floated for certain jobs. As far as the president is concerned right now, Todd Blanche remains the acting attorney general. The president feels he's doing a good job, and that's where it remains right now. I don't have any personnel updates for you today. Annie.
Thank you, Caroline. I have a question for you and also for the Treasury Secretary. First of all, there was an interview that Dr. Mehmet Oz did recently where he described the president's views on his own diet. He said that he argued that diet soda is good for him because it kills grass. And if you pour it onto the grass, the grass is killed and it therefore must kill cancer cells. I'm wondering if you can, was this sort of an accurate description of how the president sees?
Look, as we all know in this room, I think you know the president has a very good sense of humor. It's one of his most underreported characteristics, I would say. I have heard him tell this joke before. I think the Wall Street Journal should get a better sense of humor.
And then another one for you. Has the president filed his taxes and is he going to release them publicly?
It's actually a very good question. I have not inquired with the president directly about his own taxes, but I'm happy to do so, and we'll get you an answer on that.
Secretary Besson,
I have filed my taxes.
it's yours publicly. The president has publicly said that you are the reason that he has not fired Chairman Jay Powell. Will you make that case again to him, as he's recently said that he still wants to fire the chairman?
Look, I am confident that the process that we laid out in terms of Kevin Warsh becoming the next Fed chair, he's going to have the hearing on the 21st of this month. He's a great candidate. We know that the Republicans on the Senate Banking Committee are aligned in that, and I am very optimistic that Kevin Warsh will be the chair of the Fed on time, and that will be a moot question.
Stephen, go ahead.
Secretary Bessent, you mentioned that the no tax on overtime is the biggest one that people are claiming. You said 25 million people. Have you seen evidence that more companies are offering overtime or that people are working more overtime, increasing their productivity? And the second question, the health insurance industry is advertising heavily in D.C., describing themselves as the good guys in the whole healthcare system. President Trump has threatened to haul in their executives and force them to lower prices. Can you provide any update on the administration's efforts there?
Okay, so I'll take the second one last because that's not my area. I don't wear a lot of hats here, but I am sure that the president makes his views known with corporate executives, and if that is true, then they will be hauled before him. And with overtime, as Kelly and I go out and talk to employers and workers around the country, they all want more overtime. And there was this narrative that I think over 2 million illegal aliens have either voluntarily deported or been deported, and that there would be a worker shortage. Well, what better way to fill that gap than with overtime for hardworking Americans and for them to keep more of it?
Yeah, I'll just add that a great example are the factories that we see coming back thanks to 100% Made in America expensing. Coosa Steel is a great example in Rome, Georgia, where the owner was down to running one shift 1 day a week. He's up to 2 or 3 shifts 5 or 6 days a week. So thanks to reindustrializing this nation through our small manufacturing base, which most manufacturers in America meet the small business definition, 98% of them, we're seeing more shifts taking place, more opportunities for overtime, and then more willingness of workers to take on overtime shifts, because in the past they were penalized by the tax system for taking on overtime.
Elizabeth, go ahead.
Thank you. This is for Administrator Loeffler. You talked about how the One Big Beautiful Bill benefits small businesses. With small business optimism falling in March, is the administration planning on providing any additional tax relief or other resources to small businesses that have been affected by high fuel prices during their run operation?
Yeah, so one data point does not a trend make, and the long-term trend under President Trump has been for small business optimism to be above its 52-year average. Under Joe Biden, small business optimism fell below that average for 34 consecutive months because small business was being crushed by regulation, massive red tape, the threat of high taxes, and all the burdens of the Green New Deal. So right now, small businesses are really in growth mode. They're planning to hire, and the optimism is very strong. If you see in the NAM survey, National Association of Manufacturers came out, their optimism is up 5 points.
All right, we'll go ahead and hop in here. I mean, interesting, and actually what I find the most fascinating is that the media is seemingly staying on point and actually talking about the subject at hand, which is small businesses, tax relief, and everything else. And so a big point that was made just moments ago was the manufacturing coming back to the U.S. and giving an example about what did she say the Coosa Steel was? Rome, Georgia, or some part of Georgia, where they've been able to up their shifts and everything else, and the historic number of people claiming overtime and no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, and all that kind of stuff. So good, man. Good, man. More money in your pocket, Coles. That's what it's about, man. At the end of the day, give us our money. Now, granted, you're getting taxed into oblivion and have been for a long time. But relief is happening. I think real relief for a lot of people, and that's going to boost business and boost the economy. Ultimately, there's so many different things happening when it comes to the economy that are all going to tie in together and work to benefit the economy overall. A lot of people just get stuck in this rut of, with the gas prices that are kind of artificially inflated based on what's going on in the Middle East. Everything else is trending in the right direction. And so once gas prices come down, which I do believe, this is not a long-term thing. This is not a policy issue where we're attacking the oil and gas industry and causing prices to go up. It's just a temporary hiccup, if you will, and that is being resolved as we speak, because Iran's going to have to either cry uncle or cease to exist as we know it, and everything will be flowing. Plus, with the president, again, I read to that tweet that Donald Trump mentioned about meeting with the president of China. China is kind of on our side when it comes to getting the oil flowing again, because they're being hurt tremendously by this. So they've also, reports have said that they have not been sending any sort of weapons or drones or anything like that to Iran in an attempt to get them to go ahead and finally give up. So that'll all play out. We'll keep up with it. Lot happening on that front, and it's going to be changing over the next days and over the next couple of weeks for sure. But I want to go back to something, and I'll give you more detail on the other side of what I mentioned before the last break, and that was Donald Trump pushing House Republicans to pass a FISA extension. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, no, FISA is not a good thing. Like, FISA was used against Donald Trump to end his political career and, possibly throw him in prison by the Obama administration. And never forget that Obama orchestrated all of this, even going back to Comey, Mueller, and everything else. This is Obama's doing, and bad people in government will absolutely 100% of the time take advantage of programs like this. But there is an aspect to FISA, a portion of FISA, that ties directly back to our military, and Trump feels like it's very important that our military have that for us to maintain that section of the foreign intelligence a FISA operation. So I'll give you the explanation on that when we get back on the other side. If you want to get in, 205-545-9950. That's 545-9950. A lot more of the line coming up next. I'm getting multiple texts from people about Landry Scholes. Do you know who that is?
Doesn't ring a bell.
He's apparently a singer. Everybody's like, I'm just hearing about Laundry Scholes.
Laundry or Landry?
Landry Scholes. I don't know who that is. I guess I gotta Google him.
He's a country music star that released a new album, The Shoals, on April 13th, 2026.
Landry Scholes.
Oh, I was talking about the Shoals region of Alabama. Maybe.
Yeah. Is there a song?
I don't know.
It's kind of hard to find him online. There's not a whole lot. Let's try this.
Yeah. I see. It's the album's called The Shoals.
Yeah. Is there a song?
I'm looking for a song called The Shoals, but I don't see one right
Spotify
offhand.
has.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
It's weird that I'm getting multiple texts about it for some reason. Landry Shoals. Yeah, I guess we could just play one of his. Looks like his album was released a couple days ago. Was released on Monday. Do you want to just pick one of the songs on Spotify?
I'm sure. Let me pick the first one. How about that?
First one says Spring Break 08.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Let's see what this is all about. I don't like that one. Go to the next one.
You dropped a bomb. Let's see. That one probably be. There we go. All right, now we're talking. It's going to kick in here. Come on in. Kick it. Just like a bunker, no cracks, no light. You found the map I burned. You learned the codes I hid. How did you get in? How did you get in? How did you get in? Go ahead, boy. I thought I was safe. I hunkered underground. That's pretty good here, man.
That's not bad.
Got a voice on it.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to that album, man. That's good stuff.
So I guess he's from Muscle Shoals?
That's what I would assume.
Interesting. I don't know why that, I don't know where, like, did somebody say something about him? Or did he come up in a news break or what?
Or maybe there's people that follow him. You know, our signal goes way on up.
I don't know. Hey, Deep South Construction Pros, speaking of right here in Alabama, if you like the homegrown stuff, I saw something about somebody on The Voice from Alabama just won as well. Did you see that?
No, let me check.
Some chick won. I just saw the headline. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it says some girl from Alabama won The Voice last night or a couple days ago or something. Anyway, speaking of right here in Alabama, homegrown, if you will, Deep South Construction Pros. I tell you all the time, these guys are proud to be from Alabama. They love the fact that they're right here helping their community, helping their neighbors, and investing back into the community. That's what they do. But their work is even more important, and it's got to do with your home. And as homeowners, we have to deal with these things because problems only get worse. And we've all been guilty of having something going on at home that we just push off because we don't have time or don't have the money for it or whatever. Some things can't be pushed off. Some things have got to be taken care of quick because they get bad quick. They escalate quickly, and that comes in the form of water getting in your basement, water getting in your crawl space, causing foundation problems. Can come in many forms, lots of different ways that water can get in your basement and your crawl space. But these guys are the pros in making sure that they put a stop to that because you don't want that mold and that must and getting in your air vents and everything else and causing your family to be sick or ultimately causing bad foundation problems. You know the signs, the smell in the basement or the doors and windows not opening and shutting like they used to, cracks in the walls, cracks in the brick outside. If you see any of those things, go ahead and call these guys. Make sure you tell them I sent you, and they will take care of you. Even if you just got questions and say, hey, I don't know if I need you guys or not, but can you help me out and tell me if I've got any kind of situation going on here? They will absolutely do that for you. 256-305-1854. That's 256-305-1854. DeepSouthConstructionPros.com is the website. Don't forget to tell them your boy sent ya. Bubba Rumble on the line. Bubba, what's up?
Cracks in the walls, cracks in the walls. How you run around with cracks in the walls?
Can't do it, man.
Love that, man.
Man, you got the best sponsors ever, dog. Let me tell you right now. They're real world sponsors for real world people.
That's right.
From the Hey Now Nation.
That's exactly right. That's what I love about all of these guys is they're adamant about taking care of the Hey Now Nation.
Love that. All right, so I'm coming in kind of blind here. I'm not sure what's been covered today, but I've been mulling over another positive aspect of what's going on with the Iran conflict and all the oil traffic coming into Texas where it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that you remember the BRICS agreement, the BRICS currency, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, I think it was. And
Yeah.
that whole purpose of establishing that currency was to weaken the U.S. dollar. But now our beloved U.S. petrodollar is gaining ground, and the BRICS currency is taking major damage right now, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they were anticipating more leadership, I think, in the White House as to what, Joe Biden kind of opened the door for that. And it's they just expected us to continue to slide downhill. For a lot of people, you would have to expect that Donald Trump would never be back in politics if you thought something like that was going to work. But Donald Trump shocked the world and made the greatest political comeback of all time. Now he's president, and all these plans from globalists and other countries and adversaries are spiraling down the toilet at a high rate of speed.
Yeah, for real. It's a multifaceted thing where all of the most of the agenda of the Build Back Better, come on, man plan is just crumbling before our very eyes. The globalists are taking major damage. The petrodollar is regaining its lost ground. And, if you're an American, you should be happy about that. But we all know the Trump haters are never going to say anything good about him, even if it does benefit them in the long run.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
But anyway, I have no problem with the United States petrodollar being the world's reserve currency. It behooves us to all like that. And I think I would like to see the BRICS currency just go away in its entirety. And perhaps by the time this is all said and done, the great shakeup will be realigned, and we will once again be the world's superpower.
Yeah, it's the great reset that the globalists didn't want. And the fact that America is and has the ability to be the world's emergency gas station at the moment sends a signal across the globe that, hey, we got you covered. Y'all just need to come on home to Papa because we're going to be running the show.
For everybody. Come get you some of that.
That's right.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
It is, man. It's like an entire reset of the global order that had been building over time as these, and it's why some of these countries have acted in the aggressive fashion that they have. Not aggressive necessarily militarily, but economically. They've acted in aggressive fashion because they have seen a weakening U.S., a weakening U.S. dollar. And anytime they see that, that's blood in the water. The sharks start circling, and it's their job and their eyes to take advantage of that and put their country at the top of the list. But guess what? It ain't happening no more, cuzzo.